ICE arrests of people without criminal charges or convictions in the Peach State surged sharply during the month of June. This is seen as a broader national trend following the Trump administration's directive to triple daily arrest targets. The ICE data shows 42% of arrests in Georgia in June were non-criminal. This is up from just 14% back in January. There were 920 total ICE arrests that month, nearly 2.5 times the number of arrests made to the start of the year. This puts Georgia among the top 5 states for ICE arrest totals in the nation. Here with us now is Santiago Marquez, the Chief Executive Officer of the Latin American Association. Welcome back to the show, my friend.
Thank you. Good to be with you.
Yeah, what does this new data, Santiago, tell you or signal to you about how immigration is enforced and being applied here in the metro Atlanta area?
Well, we're certainly experiencing it. We're seeing it. We have families, obviously, that are coming to us for services, and they are scared. They're confused. They feel like there's chaos around their lives. And these are particularly families that are mixed status families, right? So could be that their kids are American citizens or one of the spouses is documented and the other one is not. So what we have seen is there's a lot of fear, and people are not coming to get services as much as they were before. And I think that this creates also a distrust with communities and law enforcement and government, right? And so that's what we've been experiencing over the last couple of months.
Yeah. Explain to us the difference between a criminal arrest and civil immigration violation.
Well, I'm not an attorney, but you probably need a lawyer to explain that one a little bit better. But what we do know is that we serve a lot of people and seen a lot of people that have been here for 15, 20 years that are undocumented. Immigration law is complicated. There's a lot to it. It depends on, what country you came from and how you got here and what kind of relationship that country has with the United States. So there's a lot to it. It's not as easy as, why don't you go and fix your papers and become legal? So I will say that there's a lot of complexities to that. We also know that there's a lot of people that we're working with that have been here for 15 or 20 years that have been working, taking care of their families, living in the underground kind of economy. And those are the families that could really be hurt because they have kids that are born here. And those kids are depending on that parent to bring home the money, right? So separating the families could be something that's really devastating, I think, to everybody, not just those families, but everybody will suffer from that, in my opinion.
Yeah. Why do you think our state, specifically here in Metro Atlanta, has become such a hotbed for enforcement?
I really don't know, and I've been asking that question. It's I have no answer for that. I have never gotten a good explanation on that. I think that there was something that I had heard where they were going after big cities. It could be that our industries here in Georgia, construction, agriculture, hospitality are thriving industries, and they tend to attract a lot of immigrants. And in some cases, you have immigrants that are not documented working in those industries, but I really don't have an answer to that.
Yeah. What kind of calls are your organization getting right now? What kind of calls are coming in?
Well, so we have immigration lawyers, obviously, that are, that have been serving the community for 25 years. And so a lot of those calls that they're getting is just questions around their own status, right? People that were in transition, working on their paperwork, people that might have had temporary protective status, that's been eliminated recently. So I think there's a lot of confusion there. And then with our social workers, we provide services to everybody, not just Latinos, but anybody who walks through our doors. And that's basic services like food and housing and shelter and clothing. They're getting a lot of calls around, one of maybe the breadwinner has been deported. What kind of help can they get for their kids and their families? And so, or just a lot of questions around, what happens if, somebody gets deported in our family, what do we do? Or if two parents get deported and the kids are American citizens, what happens to those kids? Who's going to take care of them?
Yeah, gotcha. All right, Santiago Marquez, thanks so much for joining us. Thanks so much for your insight today. Really appreciate it.